What is good? It's your boy, back at it. Told you guys I'd be back. Wanted to hit you guys with a double episode this week. It is the weekend. I just got back from Arizona. You guys saw me my last time on the road trip. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I actually like doing it. It was easier for me. I don't know if that makes sense, but like being in motion, what is that? Why does that help? I don't know. Maybe looking at billboards to inspire me is something that helps. But also, I was thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing more. I do a lot of road trips. Maybe I'll throw the camera in the car more often. That one was from my phone, and I don't think it was the perfect video quality. I don't know. I thought iPhones are pretty damn good, but maybe not as good as this Sony that I got recording on now. But either way, so maybe we'll do more of those in the future. I don't know. Whatever. It's been a little bit of a hectic schedule for my life recently, so I appreciate you guys rolling with me. So I'm trying to just tap in, and wanted to tap in after I went to the Waste Management Open and talk to you guys about that. And then it might not be as long as an episode, but bear with me, motherfuckers. We're in here. You know what I'm saying? Episode 39. 39. I can't think of one good number 39. I'm not gonna lie to you. Somebody out there is probably listening like, dude, this one dude was an amazing 39. I don't know. I'm not sure that you even know. You know what I mean? It sounds like a fullback maybe. Let's look it up real quick. Famous 39s. Jersey numbers. Let's see what they got. Ray Crockett. Ooh, you know what? There is a good 39 that I love, and is one of my favorite running backs of all time. Honestly, that's not true because I haven't thought about him in years. But I think this is accurate. Is 39 Steven Jackson of the St. Louis Rams? Because I loved Steven Jackson. At least sometimes when I say they're my favorite people of all time, yeah, he was 39. I'm really just thinking about the one year that they had them on fantasy and they won the league for me. So Steven Jackson, though, a beast. There's a meme, or I don't know if it's a meme. Videos going around about just how easy it is for just drop names of people, like random athletes. Like there's a lot of tweets I see like on Bengals Twitter where they're like just name a random Bengals wide receiver or something like that. And you know what? I don't like being shamed for that. Okay, those are things that I take pride in, knowing random shit like that. But Steven Jackson's that's a pull. That's a deep pull, actually. I haven't thought about Steven Jackson in years. Steven Jackson lumps into. There's this lump of running backs that I think of. Steven Jackson, Sean Alexander, and Stephen Davis are three running backs that you don't think about a lot, but they were fucking beasts. Sean Alexander was amazing. And then Stephen Davis was a bigger number too. I think he was number 48 for the Carolina Panthers. And then I think he was a Redskin for a couple years, or a Commander, whatever the hell you call him. But just those big-ass running backs that were way faster than they had any right to be when they got in the open field. And another one that should be lumped in there, Corey Dillon. Doesn't get talked about enough. That's our guy from Cincinnati. One of the greats. One of the greats. I watch Corey Dillon highlights like more than I'd like to admit. Sometimes I'm just like, dude, let's just fucking turn up some Corey Dillon runs. 50-plus yard runs by Corey Dillon. They're amazing. Big bruising linebacker that was fast as shit. So, shout out to episode 39. We're here. Speaking of random athletes, so the Waste Management Open, what I do is I go to the Pro-Am, which is sometimes like random. There's some random people that I've talked to in the past. And I say random people like random athletes that do show up in the past. But I will say, and I'll give them credit, they've been getting bigger names every year that I've been involved in. I think I've been doing it for 6 years now, maybe at least 5. I don't know. The pandemic always fucks it up with how many years it's been. But because they shut down the 1 year for the pandemic. But however long I've been doing it, it used to be like kind of random dudes I had to Google. A lot of times I was on the golf course like looking up like, yo, who is this dude? There's always some people where you're like, oh damn, that's cool. Ever since like 3-4 years ago, they got Aaron Rodgers there, and that was big. Emmitt Smith has always been going to it. I've seen him before. The first year I ever did it, Emmitt Smith was there. That was like the biggest name though, and he was like the toughest dude to get. This year, Emmitt Smith was like one of a few names. You had Alex Rodriguez. Say what you want to about him. That dude is a fucking beast. One of the great baseball players of our generation. I don't know what your stance is on steroids and shit like that. Everybody was doing it, and he was pretty fucking good while he did it. Okay, definitely was getting on that juice though, and respect to him trying to get that money. It all worked out, even though he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. But Alex Rodriguez was there, and Emmitt Smith, and Nick Saban. I always try to figure out, like, of the people that I've talked to, like, who are the biggest names. I think I was venting about this last episode, too. It's like, Saban's, now that I saw him in his eyes, shook his hand, that's the biggest name I've ever talked to. It's been such a unique thing for me to be able to tap in with these celebrities. It's such a random event, too. And I got in it like years ago. This local TV station had me do it for them, for the NBC in Phoenix, Channel 12. And then from that, it parlayed into another company that wanted me to do it. And I don't make a killing doing it, but I like doing it. It's dope. I think I'm unique on the mic. I think I've gone toe-to-toe with some big names and not wavered. Aaron Rodgers comes to mind. Both A-Rods. Aaron Rodgers, Alex Rodriguez. Trying to think some huge names. Jason Kidd was kind of intimidating just because I played NBA Live 2003 so much, and I used him quite a bit. But like of all the people I've ever like had to interact with, dude, Nick Saban was. And I immediately, when I looked in his eyes, I immediately regretted looking in his eyes. I was like, dude, I should have just turned away. This is crazy. Like if you stare long enough into his eyes, you can scheme up a blitz package. You know what I mean? Like he's transferring information about defenses, 3-4, 4-3 schemes right into your face if you just stare enough into his eyeballs. And it was crazy. It was cool. I had a question that I wanted to ask him, and I revved it up. I ran it by a couple people because I wanted to say it out loud a couple times before I said it to him in his face, in his defensive-minded face. And I said, first of all, you should go watch it. It's on the damn YouTube page. I just dropped it. It's the video before this, all right? But, spoiler alert, I looked him in the eye and I said, do you think if you had another chance, or no, what did I say? You think if you had another year to prove yourself at Alabama, you'd have more job opportunities this offseason? I locked in. I ran it a couple times, but do you know what happened, dude? I looked him in the eyes, and I fumbled a couple of words. And you'll see it. I put it on Instagram, too. It's a good – first of all, I'm super proud of it, but I know I could have said it cleaner. I could have said it more precise, more confident. But, man, once I locked eyes, dude, I was like, dude, this is the boy, dude. This is the fucking man. I know people say Bill Belichick is the greatest football coach of all time. If I really sat down, I'd probably agree with that. But I don't know. There's something about Saban that I think is more remarkable because of the toughness of college football year to year is harder. And a lot of people say, well, once you're Alabama, it's easy as fuck to just keep recruiting there. You keep recruiting top defenses, all that shit. They come to you. But to get to that point where he was the one that they were always coming to, that shit is hard as hell. And also, the last like 5 or 6 years with the NIL stuff, I guess it wasn't 5 or 6 years, but you know what I'm talking about. Like the last, 3 years or something with the NIL stuff. Still, they were in the championship conversations every year. And then also in that time frame of him being at Alabama, he started with, you couldn't name his quarterback at the beginning of his reign, and then you had to have a quarterback. It was a quarterback-driven offensive kind of league at the end there. The last 10, I don't know, 12 years at least, you've had to have not only a quarterback, but arguably like a offensive scheme catered to potentially a mobile quarterback, if not a mobile quarterback, a good offensive quarterback. Probably the first one was Tua was the best one, but there was a dude before that too. But either way, he had to like change his whole approach towards offense in that time frame because college football drastically changed over his years of dominance, and he continued to dominate. So it's Saban and Belichick are the best coaches of all time, and I think there's probably recency bias there for sure, but I don't know, dude. I mean, Belichick was amazing, and defensively what he did in those Super Bowls and shit like that. But it's really also how you look at like college and NFL and the difficulty to be able to maintain. Because what does Belichick have in his corner on the argument is he had Tom Brady the entire time. He never won one without Tom Brady. He never won one after Tom Brady. The whole time he had Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. That's not even a question, right? That's not an argument that you can even get into anymore. Whereas Saban was able to be malleable and figure it out. So I say all that to say, when I fucking the power of Saban, I posted on Twitter and there's a lot of Alabama guys that are sharing it and they're like, that's the power of Nick Saban, dude. I've never been around him. I've never been within close proximity of him. I got to look him in the eye. I get to interact with him. I got to shake his hand. And that was pretty dope. It's pretty cool. And then you tell, like, I got, God bless my girlfriend. She's great. Super supportive of all of these things. She thinks it's cool. When I tell her something's cool, she's like, oh, that is great. But she doesn't know. And then you're trying to explain who Nick Saban is to somebody. And it's a tough description. The GOAT is what you want to say. And then you're explaining what GOAT means in the modern sense. It's like, you talking about a farm animal right now? But the homies knew. I told the homie, I've showed it, now I put it on Instagram. People are like, yo, that's crazy. It is crazy. So that was cool. Nick Saban was the one. So that was probably the dopest interaction I've had with anybody, really. And then other than that, Emmitt Smith still. The crazy thing is that's how big Nick Saban is. Emmitt Smith was there. The leading rusher, the leading rushing yards, leading touchdowns, leading rushing attempts. Crazy. This also, between the last episode and this, I watched a documentary on Barry Sanders, and I was like, this dude's a fucking beast. Obviously, I knew he was a beast, but, never really sit down and watch a lot. I watch a lot of Corey Dillon stuff because I'm a Bengals fan. I will. I shouldn't say I never sit down and watch, old Barry Sanders stuff. I actually do watch. Barry Sanders stuff pops up a lot, and I will sit and watch. As long as it's a under 5-minute video, I'll watch the whole fucking thing. He's just amazing. But I never watched his whole story be told. And I knew he retired early-ish. He still played fucking 10 years. But the documentary is crazy. It's really good. Run, Barry, Run, I think it's called. Or no. Run, Ricky, Run. I'm mixing up documentaries. Look at Barry go. I don't know what it is. It's a Barry Sanders documentary. And it was dope. And you see all these records he's running after Walter Payton's record, all the great rushing records of all time. And he breaks quite a bit of them. And so then I'm doing this rabbit hole where I'm watching this Barry Sanders stuff, and I'm looking. And then you do look at the rankings, and you see Emmitt Smith is fucking shitting on everybody with the records. And he's never going to get that. Emmitt Smith won't get that number one spot unless you're like a Dallas Cowboys fan, I think, because he had the offensive line. He also had health on his side. He had the longevity and how many years he went, and then he also just never got injured, which, I'm not critiquing him because of that. I don't think you should ever downplay something. Like, LeBron James is going to have all those records because he doesn't get injured. Emmitt Smith has all those records. You can't really take any of that away from him, but he's never going to – once you watch Barry Sanders run, you're like, nah, he's just better. He's just better. And I actually know some offensive people in the Emmitt Smith thing. You know what I'm saying? I know his fullback was Daryl Johnston, right? And then you know that one of his offensive linemen was one of the greats of all time. I can't think of who it was. The dude that almost I'm going blank on that, but like his offensive line was like historically great. Whereas Barry Sanders, I had to be reminded, even Herman Moore was on one of those teams. I mean, you're looking at the quarterbacks like, dude, Rodney Peete is the best you can get for these fucking interviews? Jesus Christ. But Emmitt, being able to talk to Emmitt was cool. I had interacted with him in the past, and he was very quick. So luckily, I was like, all right, I'm going to come with this. So I had a good question for him. Got some laughs. It was good. I did also talk to Nate Bargatze, who was somebody that I just recently posted about. He is one of the best comics. Excuse me, I keep burping. I just crushed some Chips Ahoy and the Fritos chili cheese that I had in the car the other day. I didn't eat them until this morning, so these burps are actually very tasty, if you're wondering. But the Bargatze was there, one of the best comics doing it, and I did the unsolicited Tiger picks. I hit Nate Bargatze with them 2 different times when we were playing the Tennessee Titans. Whenever you're playing the Bengals, I take the opposing fan base. I find fans of the team. I text you one picture of a tiger each day leading up to game time. Nate Bargatze was in that thing. And he goes on his own podcast a couple weeks ago, Nateland, and he talks about it. And somebody tagged me or somebody messaged me that it was being discussed. And so I was like, dude, I should post this. I did. And I guess I got back to him because I brought it up on the interview, and he knew exactly who I was. That I was referring to myself, and it was cool. I thought it is also one of those weird things. Sometimes when you really remove yourself, you're like, maybe he was more bothered by it than he wanted to let on, and I didn't know how to really ask him, like, hey man, what'd you think of those tiger pictures? It's a funnier thing when you remove yourself from it, and you're like, this is a hilarious thing, and then when I talk over the video picture thing and tell you guys how dumb I think these people are, that's funny. I was just talking to this really famous person now, and I was like, dude, what'd you think about receiving those tiger pictures? Pretty dope, huh? And he was like, yeah, man, they were cool. So not the reaction your boy was hoping for, but also he was there at a golf tournament doing his thing. I'm just some jackass on camera trying to get him to like maybe look dumb. It wasn't, whatever. We're gonna grow from this moment. It's also one of those things too, where like people were like, "Yo, you should have talked to him, told him more, blah blah blah." But like, you also have to play your part in those moments too. Like, what was I supposed to do? Like, yo, you should have me open for you, dude. I'm this person, I'm that person, whatever. There's more value in me having that interaction, and then down the line, I'll see him at a comedy club. I'll see him in real life. I'll probably have an interaction with him in real time that will be a much more natural conversation than me being on camera grilling him about some shit. Not grilling him, but asking him about some stuff that kind of could potentially be a moment where I'm trying to get him in a gotcha moment and make him look silly. Why don't I just do that off camera? So that's what I was thinking is I'll catch up with him down the line. Maybe we'll cross paths again. Have a better interaction than that. But that was cool either way. It was funny. Full circle moment to see all that connect. Other people that I got to talk with, Michael Phelps, I've seen him before. Pretty dope. What is he, one of the most well-decorated U.S. Olympians of all time? I think so. I feel like that's the record he has. I remember thinking that was cool when Carl Weathers did it that one time. And then Michael Phelps was like, fuck you. Carly Lloyd was there. I remember thinking she was kind of hot years ago, but, people age. Or maybe I was thinking of a different soccer player. I think that's what I was thinking of. I definitely remember where I was when Brandi Chastain ripped her shirt off, which is so weird because I can't believe that I watched an entire female women's soccer game, but I definitely did. That was a big deal back in 1996, was it? Crazy to think that I was a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid watching that shit whenever that happened. But I remember that vividly, for sure. But Carly Lloyd ran into her. She got a couple of medals. And dude, Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell. The dude that was in fucking Top Gun Maverick. That's a handsome guy. That dude had the jawline of a Disney prince. And honestly, I didn't care to ask him anything about any. I was like, dude, what was it like talking to TC? What was it like looking TC in the eye? Talk to me. That was cool. And he's also I guess they're remaking Twister. They're making it Twisters. So there's gonna be multiple tornadoes. Pretty sure there was multiple tornadoes in the last one. But then sometimes you get mad at, like, they're like, oh, you're remaking that? Like, I don't know if they're remaking it or they're like they're continuing the narrative. Maybe he's like Bill Paxton's kid or something like that. But then you do the one thing I try to think back on is I'm like, dude, if they could have made Twister with the CGI that we have today, that'd be pretty neat. And that's pretty much all they're doing. That's pretty much what they're trying to get out there and do, and that's fine. I might see it. It could be something that I could go to theaters to see. So, yeah, but he was there. Who else was cool that I saw? I saw the chick from the Today Show. I don't know who the hell she was. And then you're like having these moments where you're trying not to bring up Matt Lauer because all I can think about on the Today Show is Matt Lauer. But she could have been in the fucking room with Matt Lauer when he pressed the button to lock the door and not let him out, maybe get a handy. You kidding me? I can't believe Matt Lauer did that also. What a crazy time that was. The Me Too era was... Whew. You're like, dude, Matt Lauer had a button to control the door being locked to get broads to give him a little handy. I don't remember the story actually. I know there was a button involved though. A little power hour with Lauer, dude. You kidding me? But this chick was on the Today Show, and I'd be lying to you if I told you I watched the Today Show in the past 20 years. Another crazy thing to think about me as like an 8, 9, 10-year-old, I was watching the Today Show. I remember just being awake and kind of alert, watching like fucking Al Roker do the news and shit like that before we went to, well, not work, school, elementary school. What a wild time, the 90s. I don't think these kids are watching Today Show now. And then is that a thing that I put? You know, you guys don't remember watching the Today Show. You know, not the flex that you think it is. But yeah, the tournament was cool. The Pro-Am is cool. That's all I did though. I didn't show much after that. I took it all in that day. That was Wednesday. And then also it was pretty shitty weather. That was the thing that sucked. So the worst thing that happened was it rained like later in the afternoon. Ran into some cool people. Did all the interviews that I needed to get. The other person was Torey Lovullo and the coach of the Diamondbacks, the coach of the Cardinals, and then one of the pitchers from the Diamondbacks. Got them too. Which is Torey Lovullo, if you don't know, Diamondbacks manager. I've been fortunate enough to be able to interact with him a bunch over the years. We did a couple of Diamondbacks videos in Phoenix. I did a golf thing with him one time that was pretty fun. He ended up enjoying it a lot. We got along well enough where when he sees me, he knows me. I've pitched the first pitch at a spring training game one time, got it over the plate, did not throw the gas that I wanted to, but it was some hot cheddar. It was some mild cheddar. It was cheddar. But he was there, and he's just a good dude. That's all I'll say. That's a good baseball guy that you would like to kick it with. I think his only knock is he is a Pittsburgh guy originally. But, we can't be perfect. But, yeah, Torey Lovullo was cool to see. And then the baseball guys, you're always like, dude, you're a fucking millionaire? This is crazy. These dudes are probably making, I think I saw Zach Gallen. He's a starting pitcher, one of the best in the league. He's probably raking 30 mil a year. I don't even know. Couldn't even and he's just the most regular looking dude. Type of dude, if he wanted to fight you at a bar, you'd be like, okay. There wouldn't be you wouldn't pause and be like, dude, this guy could get me. And now he probably could get you because this is a professional athlete. He's probably doing a lot more workouts than I am. But like toe to toe next to him, I'm like, bro, fuck this dude. Not really. He's a super nice guy. But you know what I'm saying? Not intimidating at all. Just regular motherfucker. Baseball guys, dude. I'm telling you, that is the sport. The more you really kind of break it down, like if you had a great athletic son, wouldn't you just guide him towards baseball? It's so unassuming. You can kind of unless they want the fame and shit like that. But like, what's the numbers? How rare is it to make it to the NFL? You're not gonna make it. Now, I'm not saying it's not rare to make it to the major leagues. I know all the stories of like the minor league players and shit like that. It's tough, but like, dude, if you got a superstar athlete, crazy good athlete, just fucking go to baseball. Fucking, you can just make so much money. If you're a relief pitcher, and you can do it for so fucking long. My argument has always been the greatest job in the world is middle relief righty. Might be a lefty, but I think a middle relief righty in Major League Baseball has got to be it. And I say that because a lefty actually is going to get used almost every night. Like if you're a good, 5th, 6th, 7th inning guy, especially now the baseball, they're using these guys a lot, but like a righty, you might get a night off, Might not be a matchup that makes sense for you. If you're a lefty in the bullpen, you're probably going to get used that night. I would think, it's just kind of a specialist. But dude, there better be nights you're just kicking it on the road. Fucking, if you don't lock yourself down, you're a single guy, at least till you're like 28, 29. You got a chick in every area code. You're a fucking Nate Dogg chorus. You know what I mean? You're a Ludacris song. You're traveling to 16 ballparks a year, maybe some more. I don't know what the AL schedule is, like that's a fucking gig and a half. You're just crushing sunflower seeds. You have a fully formed opinion on what the best sunflower seeds is. You like the ones maybe with the dill pickle. I don't fuck with those. I think those are trash. The ranch ones are kind of weird. I'm an OG guy. Just give me the good David's fucking sunflower seeds. You know what I mean? Might be a big league chew guy, double bubble, whatever it is, dude. You are doing that. Every city you're in, you got crazy money too. And even I'm saying like you might not be making like the 30 mil that Zach Gallen's making. You're probably making 5 to 8. Like if you're good. And even if you're not, like just coast on 1 or 2 mil. You're getting free meals at the fucking through the team, I would hope. I don't know. This is a lot of assumptions. But they're probably feeding you. If you're not, splurge here and there, invest wisely, fucking coast. What are we doing? Best job. Tell you could teach, be a good father. Teach your kid to play baseball. So, basketball wouldn't be bad either, though. Now. But basketball's like, they got only 12, 15 guys on the team. Baseball's got like a crazy roster. It's like 25 is the playoffs. Or 30 or something like that. There's like a 40-man roster, and there's the longevity there. So, it's just my take. Speaking of sport, first of all, it's Super Bowl weekend. I haven't even brought up the game, but I'm talking about baseball and golf and all this shit. But the Waste Management Open is this past weekend. It's a shit show. Again, if you haven't gone, I went on Wednesday. The rain came in. That's what I was getting at. So, we talked to all these people, we interacted with everybody, and then the rain comes in, and I don't get to go to the 16th hole, like in the hole. I usually go to the green, usually fuck with the people at the tee box. It's one of the better places to catch somebody because they're kind of stuck in this area, this physical space that you can't kind of move. I've gotten A-Rod in the past there. I've gotten some good people in that moment. And by the time it was raining, they weren't letting any more media in. So I fucked up because I looked later that day. Who was there? Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy fucking Q. One of my favorite human beings, let alone hip-hop artists. This is a guy that I just fucking love. If you don't like Schoolboy Q music-wise, you should at least interact with him on social media. He was, for years, one of the best Instagram. I don't think he was doing. Was I following him on Snapchat? I think it was Instagram stories. There was an era where there was like these hip hop artists were so. He was so good on stories. You'd get to know his daughter. He was so funny, and he was just so engaging and just so himself. It was one of the best times of my life when Schoolboy Q and Freddie Gibbs was active on Instagram stories. Just a simpler time for everybody. Now I don't even think Schoolboy he probably has one just because he's promoting an album now, but like, I don't think he's doing anything on there. But Schoolboy Q was there. I don't know. You want to say like Nick Saban was intimidating? I'd like to think I wouldn't be intimidated if I saw Schoolboy Q, but my heart would skip a beat. I'd be so like, because the thing with Nick Saban is I wasn't like fanboying. I'm not like a big, I don't give a shit about Alabama football, quite honestly. I don't know who would be somebody in college football that would like make me go, ooh, I don't know, probably Ricky Williams. If I met Ricky Williams, that'd be really cool. Schoolboy, I would probably get like nervous in like I don't know. I'd just be geeked up, dude. I would just be I don't know what I would say to him. Just Blank Face, one of my favorite albums of all time, something like that. Habits and Contradictions, So, Blessed. Why can't we get Blessed back on Spotify? One of my favorite songs of all time. I don't know what I would have said, but he was there. And he was like on social media. He was there. And I fucking didn't see him. And I think I would have saw him if I got to the 16th hole. I guess I'm assuming a lot because that was where he was on the video. But I usually, and that's the weird thing with the rain this year. I'm usually moving around a little bit more. We're walking here to there. I know the lay of the land. I know the landscape pretty well. And so I usually am able to interact with everybody. Like last year was the Super Bowl. I got everybody. I got so many fucking people. So I was pretty disappointed I didn't get to see Schoolboy Q. And if you don't know, he is dropping a new album, and he doesn't need any more promotion, but fucking look out for that one. March 1st. I can't wait. It's exciting when hip-hop – I love when hip-hop excites me again. And if I were to get – there's only a few people, if I heard you were dropping an album, I'd be super jacked about, and he is definitely one of those people. Him, Kendrick, Vince. It's a short list, quite honestly. It's a short list. I can't think of anybody else really. Oh, Black Thought, if he had a solo thing, or if the Roots had anything going on, I'd be super, super excited about that. I'd be intrigued in anything that The Alchemist is attached to. I just saw he's doing a whole album with Mos Def. Honestly, I haven't been excited about a Mos Def thing in a long time. Yahmsayin Bey. But if he's attached to Alchemist production, it's probably going to be a good fucking album. Larry June, another artist that I love. J.I.D. But Schoolboy, like, he's also somebody that hasn't made an album since Crash Talk. Damn. Is that right? 2019? So this is going to be dope. And I don't think he's done shit. I don't think he's done like a feature. He might have done a feature here or there. So it's going to be a good month. It's going to be good. So that all happened. And then now it's all leading up to, Waste Management Open always coincides with Super Bowl weekend. And a lot of people are like, oh, shouldn't they do Waste Management some other week? Somebody was hitting me like, man, they'd be smart if they did it a different week than the Super Bowl. It's always, I don't know what to tell you. It's literally always that week. It's never hindered the ability for people to go. Literally, nobody's ever been like, they got to switch this weekend up. It's one of the best weekends. If you don't go to the Super Bowl, which if you went to Vegas this weekend, that's a crazy. Going to Vegas any weekend that something crazy's happening is like just such a. It's not as much as a shit show because Vegas can handle it, but like for the Super Bowl, I can't even imagine what's going on this weekend. It's probably super fun if you got money to spend, if you got money to blow. There are people having the time of their life in Vegas right now. But, like, if you don't want to go to the city that has the Super Bowl and you want to do the next best thing, Phoenix in Super Bowl weekend, Waste Management Open, it's going to be a good fucking time every time. I was there. I went to the new spot. There's a global ambassador there. It's this brand new hotel. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy nice. Saw Larry Fitzgerald walking in there the other night. And then I saw Larry Fitzgerald the next day. Another take, I forgot to bring up Larry Fitzgerald earlier. He's also one of the coolest people that I talk to as well. And I won't argue he's all I'll ever say is that there's an argument to be made that he's better than any wide receiver that ever played the game. Because you can't name more than fucking 3 quarterbacks he ever had. Other than Carson Palmer and Kurt Warner, name 2. You know what I mean? I only know because I lived there for a little bit. Drew Stanton was one. Like, what are we really talking about? I think Drew Stanton was like one of the better ones. I think he was even a backup or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, this dude had the worst quarterback situation anybody could ever have, and he continued to put up numbers every fucking year. Larry Fitzgerald is one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, if not the greatest. But I completely understand if you got Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, T.O. over him. I'm just saying, put him in a conversation. Think about it. Get your eyes on some tape. With that being said, too, now it's Super Bowl. So it is the Super Bowl weekend. Tomorrow is Super Bowl, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not rooting for either of these fucking teams. I've made it clear already. I'm not rooting. I don't give a shit what happens. I'm emotionally checked out. The only thing that I hope happens is I hope that I don't know. I do hope at this point, which it's kind of cliche because I feel like a lot of people hope this, but dude, I fucking hope that these motherfuckers break up in the offseason, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I hope that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift break up this offseason. That's my only hope. How about that? Because it's not even – I actually don't care that much. I hate that everybody cares, though. It's so annoying. It's not – I don't even blame her. I don't even think it's her fault. It's the whole thing. It's like the NFL's fault. It's NBC's fault. It's all these fucking media conglomerates' faults. It's their fault. And I hope that the beginning of the breakup does occur this weekend. I hope that Travis Kelce is sitting there at halftime and he's hearing through the halls Usher. And he has this moment where he realizes, yo, why the fuck am I listening to Taylor Swift music so fucking much? Are you kidding me? The pussy can't even be that good. The bitch got no ass. I can't stress this enough. And he's listening to Usher, and he gets reactivated into the man that he always was. You know what I mean? He reminds himself of his core roots. Because I know he fucked with Usher. I don't need to even ever ask him the question. I know Travis Kelce fucks with Usher. I seen his haircut. You don't get that haircut and not fuck with Usher. Okay? That haircut comes with a copy of 8701. Okay? That haircut literally comes with a fully formed opinion on Jagged Edge. That if you have that haircut and you're from Ohio and you're in your 30s, you fuck with Usher. You probably lost your virginity to Usher. Okay? So he's going to be hearing Usher through the halls at the halftime show. I think he's going to get reactivated and remind himself the type of music that he really fucks with and the type of shit that he loves. And I think that that'll be the beginning of the end, where he'll kind of fade out and be like, I can't fucking listen to this bullshit anymore. Because I can't imagine how often he's got to listen to like the unreleased shit. And again, I'm not saying this to say like Taylor Swift isn't talented and her music isn't good. Like her music is. I don't hate it. I'm not like, I don't seek out the music. I don't play the music all that much. But like, look, she can sing all these songs. All I'm saying is, if you're comparing Taylor Swift to Usher, Usher can fucking dance. Taylor Swift is not as talented as people want to make her out to be. This bitch can't dance. She can't perform like Usher can. She can't perform like Chris Brown can. Chris Brown doesn't have the catalog music-wise, but he's got a good catalog, deep catalog. He might have hit a bitch, but I think there's two sides to that story, too. Don't get me started on that. But I'm saying is, I know that Taylor Swift has the music catalog and shit like that, but, dude, Usher is more talented than this bitch. The guy can sing and dance. Keep your eyes on the screen for this halftime show. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait. What does he start with? He's got to start with... You almost have to start with yeah, but you could build up to yeah. You could build up to yeah and do like, you could just go early, go my way. It's exciting. the routes that he could do. I hope he does Caught Up. You got to bring out Alicia for my boo. Even though that's not like one of my favorite songs, but I definitely don't ever turn that song off. You know what I mean? Not my favorite. Confessions Part 2. You think he brings Chili out to reenact the whole music video again, shit like that? That'd be crazy. You Remind Me. You can't start with You Remind Me though. You either have to start with you probably either have to start with My Way or Yeah. But you can build up to Yeah. That's the thing. What was the first You Got It Bad? What was his first single? Was it My Way? Or You Don't Have to Call. You gotta play You Don't Have to Call. The weird stuff will be like the later stuff, like DJ Got Us Falling in Love. He actually had, you know what? He could start with that and get it out of the way for me. And I'm not like criticizing the song, but it's just not my shit. You know what I mean? I'm more of a looking back on things like, You Make Me Wanna. That's what I'm thinking of. My Way would hit. You Make Me Wanna would be, dude, Nice and Slow? Are we kidding? But you can't start with Nice and Slow. It's too, quite frankly, nice and slow. Yeah, be interesting. I wonder what the odds are. I bet there's odds on that. I would say, oh man, I don't know. I think you start at the early catalog shit. You know what? The odds are probably yeah. And then the thing about the catalog is that he has is if you can start with yeah and just fucking hit people in the fucking face and you can still do the hits. You can still do all the shit. So that'll be exciting. I think it'll be a great halftime show. I'm very excited for that. More so than the whole fucking game. I don't give a shit about the game. I'm excited for the halftime show, all right? I'm a middle-aged white woman now. I don't even give a shit about the game. I just hope they have fun. I actually don't hope they have fun. I hope it's like a fucking 7-3 game. I hope people talk shit about it for years. I have come around to the fact that I think the Niners can pull it off. I also know that I think that because I don't think I can stomach the Chiefs' victory. So, I don't know. You guys are probably listening to this. With the game might have been already done when you're listening to this. So, I'm hoping. You know what? Fuck it. I don't give a shit. Go Niners. You know what I mean? Which is crazy to think that that's how much I'm not rooting for the Chiefs these days. I'm rooting for the fucking Niners. Literally the reason that my whole youth was ruined every fucking year. They show the highlights of this fucking cocksucker driving on the field to ruin our year. But rooting for the Niners. I have a lot of Bay Area friends. They're good people for the most part. Also, that dude with the video of the cocaine, pretty funny guy. Seemed like a good dude. That went viral for me. So I appreciate that. Yay area. So hopefully that's how it turned out. But more importantly, I'm just rooting for this halftime show. And I'm confident that it'll work. And I hope that the Usher music travels all the way into Travis Kelce's soul. And he is reminded who he is. Because that haircut, that's a John B. fan. You know what I mean? That haircut loves Joe and Jodeci. That haircut loves Usher. All right? That haircut doesn't love Taylor Swift. So, either way, that's a little weekend dose for you guys. Figured I'd tap in one more time, let you guys know what's good with me. A little special Waste Management Open breakdown for you guys. I appreciate you guys always. If you haven't seen the video already, hit my YouTube. Go hit the Waste Management Open video. I got Nick Saban on there, Nate Bargatze, Alex Rodriguez, all these people I'm talking about, Larry Fitzgerald. So tap in on that. Like it, comment on it, all that shit. Trying to get these videos more up too. Go on to YouTube, subscribe if you haven't. Engage with the videos if you can. The more action I get on there, the more easy it'll be to monetize things, which would help me a lot because this shit is not for the weary, okay? Your boy need to bring in that cash. So do that. You know, I got the merch. People still buying the merch too. I appreciate you guys. Go to turnercomedy.com. Get the Yahmsayin sweatshirt, the sweatpants, the duo. If you need the whole thing, you can take a nap in that shit. I still got the Rogue Warrior Tour shirts for sale too. So get those. I got the Rogue Warrior Tour mugs, all that stuff. So tap in on those if you haven't already. Yeah, and then I'll be back this week with another episode. I appreciate y'all. Peace.